known Chicago rapper Herbo. He and 5 other men charged with using stolen credit cards to charter private jets, rent exotic cars, and a villa in Jamaica.
Chicago rapper Herbo is facing 2 to 3 years in prison after agreeing to plead guilty in Massachusetts to federal wire fraud charges.
New this morning, the rapper Herbert Wright, known professionally as Herbo, was sentenced in federal court in Springfield to 3 years probation in order to pay over $140,000.
Now, we all heard the rumors of you supposed to be going to jail for 5 years.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, you know what I mean? You motherfucking cop. You was on vacation, but you left on probation.
Like, I ain't never committed fraud against nobody, you know what I'm saying?
He was being sincere.
You feel me? Like, I was accepting full accountability for whatever my role was in the whole situation, you feel what I'm saying? And I wasn't doing that to further my career, nothing like that. Since
What,
I
they
was
thought you was doing
16.
PPP loans?
Yeah, nah, they thought I was doing some shit, like basically using funds or fraud or cards or whatever identity or some shit to fund videos and shit like that. I've been making money since I was 16 years old off rap already. So I was already well off when that whole situation occurred, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
It was basically me paying for goods. Like, basically, like if I'm a jet, I'm paying half for the shit. Like, if it's $40,000, I paid $20,000. I gotta have cash already to do this shit.
AHumbleSoul, we checking back in, man. If you're not already subscribed, hit the button ASAP. It's greatly appreciated. Herbo, he recently sat down and chopped it up with Drink Champs. You know, he touched on his Fed case. News came out back in 2020 that Herb was one of 6 people caught up in this fraud indictment, man. You know, Herb at that time was already a buzzing rap star, but he allegedly was linked up, connected with this rap promoter named Antonio Strong, who had the plug on stolen credit cards and different people's bank account information. And just judging from the Drink Champs interview, Herb said he'll throw him a little money to get access, get stuff at discounted prices, man. So, you know, Herb used the guy to book multiple private jet flights that cost over $80,000 altogether. Said the dude helped him get more than $30,000 in exotic car rentals. You know, we talking the Benzes, Bentleys, Escalades, you know, whips like that. The nice-ish that you want to ride around in, man, when you maneuvering in these different cities. The guy also plugged them with nice rooms to stay in different places. You know, plugged them with a villa out in Jamaica that cost more than $14,000, you know, during the stay. But because of that, you know, Herb used the guy's resources, you know, he was caught up in this wire fraud ring. He ended up getting hit with multiple charges. It says that, you know, after, you know, they all got jammed up, Herb lied to a federal agent and said that he didn't know who Antonio Strong was, that they, you know, they didn't really have any dealings, man, that he never gave him no money, that the dude never looked out for him and hooked him up with the PJs and the cars, the rooms, etc. So when that was determined to be a lie, he was charged with lying to a federal agent. He was facing Fed time, years in the Feds, but he decided not to take his case to trial. He ended up pleading guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, as well as 1 count of lying to a federal agent. When the smoke cleared, you know, Herb was only sentenced to 3 years of probation, and you know, he has to pay, you know, fines and all of that too.
You really got bulletproof cars?
Yeah, hell yeah. You got a bulletproof.
Put me on.
I got level 6. That motherfucker bomb-proof for everything.
Damn, bomb-proof.
The Cadillac truck. Motherfucker, like, paid like $280 for it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro, growing up in the streets, like, I always had a mask. I never put nobody I love in harm's way, no matter, like, even with, like, I'm just paranoid. I don't even be having shit going on. I get real love in my city, bro. Like, I be able to pop out and shit, but I always, like, even, like, what I'm saying is, when I was young as a kid, like, when I used to drive cars, I always had cars 16, 17. I never used to have my mama in the car. I never used to have my sister in the car, because I just was paranoid if anything happened, I'm putting people that I love in harm's way. I always said I'm going to be able to make sure my people safe when I really get some real money, you feel me? So I'm around with my kids. I want to make sure no matter what, my kids, everybody that I love, family, is safe when we ride in Chicago. Because you never know what happens.
Bulletproof cars are just for Chicago?
Yeah, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chicago like that.
Yeah.
You gonna make nobody want to go to Chicago right now.
Nah, it ain't even that. It's just like, you don't ever know what happened. You know, it's dangerous everywhere. You feel me?
What
like,
you just said, and Kanye, and niggas is looking for Chicago, man.
It's dangerous everywhere, but Chicago just like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never, and what I'm saying is, I'm from there. You never know who love you, who hate you. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I gotta make sure I'm straight at all times. I don't take no chance.
During that conversation on Drink Champs, you know, Herb, he also talked about Chicago. He's a product of the east side of Chicago, you know, the area called Terrortown. You know, clique he represents is NLMB, or No Limit, you know, but they call the area Terrortown. There's a lot of gangs and gun violence and all of that over there. It has a notorious reputation for being deadly, you know. And Herb talked about how when he goes back to Chicago nowadays, he doesn't even go to his old neighborhood anymore. He stays downtown, he does his shopping, and he eats good, and he enjoys the sights like a tourist would. But he said he really doesn't want to put his family or anybody in harm's way. So he stays away from, you know, his area that he grew up in. Which makes sense, man. Somebody of his character, somebody of his caliber. Just, you know, all he has on the line and what he's worth, and just the different stories you hear about these different rappers going back to their old hoods, they hometowns, and becoming victims, you know what I'm saying, of gun violence. So it's wise for him to make chess moves when he's in the rack, you know what I'm saying. He talked about spending $280,000 on a bulletproof Escalade that he only rides in when he's in Chicago, just to be safe. So he's on that type of time, man. It reminded me of Dolph when Dolph was out in Charlotte for CIAA weekend in 2017 when he was in that bulletproof SUV that, you know, the dudes hopped out on and sprayed up over 100 times, and him and his people was able to make it out alive because he had the bulletproof. You know, Herb said he riding like that in the Chi, man. When he's in the Chi, he said he's riding bulletproof. But that just speaks to how he views his city and just how he considers himself to be a target. And he said also how he's just paranoid and he wants to be as safe as possible, and he doesn't want to put his family in harm's way, you know. And I feel him, man. Rather be safe than sorry, for sure, man. Especially when you somebody of his caliber, somebody who's been able to turn their life around, make a household name of themselves, dodge prison time, you know, was able to make it out the streets. You know, you gotta protect the prize, man. Protect your life, protect the life of your loved ones, you know, because a lot of people, if they can't get to you, they'll get to somebody you love, man. So I applaud him for taking money to invest into an armored vehicle when he's maneuvering in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate at the same time, but we got to be realistic here. If you look at the news, you see how dangerous and violent Chicago is, you know. But you know, man, but salute to G Herbo, man, and Drink Champs. It's good to see them back putting content out. It's good to see Herb get the Fed case behind them, you know what I'm saying. But shout out to everybody tuning in, man, and rocking with AHumbleSoul. If you're not already subscribed, hit the button ASAP, spread the word and all of that. Until next time, I'm gonna holler at y'all 100.